Hey everyone, and welcome to the P-Wing. Last night I had a great talk with one of my good friends, and he was asking me about, Daniel, why is it so important for you to have physical games and all the collector's edition? And that made me think about it, and I was like, that's a great conversation. I want to make a video and talk about why is it so important, and why may I maybe lose my interest in gaming if I someday can get physical games for my Nintendo machines. And by the way, I was at my bachelor party last day where I had that talk with my good friend, and we was in escape room, and I was at a beep beep bar where you could play arcade games, and we were fooling around, and I got the high score in Pac-Man. That was awesome.
Du har 20! Du har 20!
Fuck, jeg bliver smashet nu.
Jeg er fucking lort, man! Hvorfor spiller jeg så dårligt til sidst?
And I got this homemade one-up from Super Mario Bros. So I had a great day, and I could feel the love in the air, and my friends and family really did a great day for me. But let's talk about this topic. Why is it so important for me to have the physical games? And it scares me, because I'm pretty sure that if I someday can't get physical games for the upcoming Nintendo machine, not this generation they are coming, but the next one, and all games are playing by downloading digital games or on iCloud. Oh shit, man, that's my nightmare, iCloud gaming. I think I will lose the interest in gaming, and that scares me, because I have played since I was a little child. Since I was 4 years old, I saw my big brother playing Turtles for the Nintendo Entertainment System and Jurassic Park, and I had a blast to watch my big brother playing. And now I will talk about why it's so important for me with the physical games. When I was a child, and I've talked about this many times, but I will do it again to make you understand why it's so important for me to have physical games. When I was a child, one of the best memories I had was playing on the Nintendo Entertainment System with my big brother and our Super NES. And I had so many great memories that our dad took us down to PlayShop or Blockbuster. PlayShop and Blockbuster, as many of you know, is places where you could rent games, and games was very expensive back in the day. They are, for some, still expensive, of course, for children, but back in the days, games could cost $80 or $100 sometimes. So, and that was the price back then. So $100 back then is much more nowadays. So you can imagine, it was pretty rare we got games for our systems that we own. So it was at birthday or Christmas. And every weekend when we was at my dad's place, our parents were separated. So every time we visit our dad in the weekend, he took us over to the Blockbuster or Playtime. And I remember the magical feeling. I miss Blockbuster and Playtime, but I remember the magic feeling when we walk in and our dad told us, you can pick any games. And I was looking at the front covers. I was like, oh, sorry. And I was looking at the front covers, and I remember I saw the magical crest staring Mickey Mouse. And this game is one of the best games I have ever played. Because of nostalgia, but I really love this game. It was my number 25 over the best games of all time I've played. Or maybe I'll put it on 24, I can't remember actually. But I'll have to be done with that list, by the way. But I can remember I saw this at Playtime and was looking at it, and I remember, wow, this looks magical. And we went home and was putting the game in the Super NES, and I was playing, and I felt the magic. And I remember I was looking through the manual, and I was watching all the items you could get, and I remember I saw in Nintendo Power Magazine every level, and I was not good at playing back in the day, so it was pretty rare I completed a game. And I remember, you can see here, I was watching the books and the colors, and I was trying to look at the pictures, and oh, you can get a 1-up if you collect the Mickey Mouse, and I have good memories looking through the manual and just sitting in the car driving home from Blockbuster or Playtime, and couldn't wait to pop it in and play it with my brother. And one day I think I rented this game probably around 20 times, and one weekend I managed to come to, I don't know his name in English, but the main guy in Denmark is called Sorteper. Pete, I think he's called. Yeah, Emperor Pete's castle. It says here, Pete. And I remember I was standing in front of Pete, and I was playing, and it was Sunday, so we have to deliver the game back in Blockbuster. And my dad walked into me, and he could see I will have the blast with the game. And I will never forget these words my dad told me. And he was saying, and some of you may think it's a bad way to raise up kids, but he was telling me, Daniel, I've called your mom, and I asked her if it's okay that you can not go to school tomorrow and stay here at me one day more. And I was like, why Dad? Yeah, it's because I think we should wait to deliver the game back. And my dad was getting and we had to deliver it, so he was like, we take a day over, it's okay, I'll pay the bill I will get for not delivering the game. And I was like, wow. So my dad was sitting down at me next to me, and we was playing for the whole evening, and the next morning I was waking up and playing through the game one more time, and I ended up completed it. And that's such a good memory, that my dad and I just was playing this game and staying away from school, and oh, such a good memory. And I have great memories of many games I was renting back then. And we grew up, and we got our Nintendo 64, and I'm so sad that I don't have the video anymore, but because my dad was recording me when I got the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, and I think I was around 10 or 11 years old, and I was opening it, and I was shaking and screaming and running around in the living room, and I couldn't be in myself, and I can remember I was watching the front cover the whole time in 8 hours, because it was Christmas Eve, and my dad told me, it's okay, you open one of the presents, but you have to wait to play the game until after the guest was gone, and that's fine, and I was just watching the front cover and looked at it, and I was like, I can't wait to come into this world, to look at a cover on a game, to go through a manual and watch all the items and what kind of level you and the characters. That's such a magic feeling. And yeah, you can watch it on a screen maybe, but it's another feeling to have it in your hands. And a lot of the good memories I have with games is holding the cover, look at the pictures, make my imagination tell the story. I was reading Donald Duck and Dragon Ball when I was very young, and I couldn't read that good. And I remember I was just watching the pictures, and I was making my own history about the Donald Duck cartoon and the Dragon Ball adventures. And I was like, wow, what a world. And then I learned to read, and I was like, my story in my head was better than the real story sometimes. but oh, I had such a good memories about it. And then I grew up, and I got my own money, and I bought my Nintendo Wii. And I remember I was almost you know the people that are living in a gym or in a fitness center where you are training muscle, and sometimes every time you visit the gym two times in the year, maybe probably that's me almost, you see that guy that always are at the gym. Always, you may think sometimes, is he living here? And that kind of person, I was that person in GameStop. I was always at GameStop. I was talking to the people that work there. I was going through all the games and we were talking, and I got my first Zelda tattoo. And I remember the GameStop was like a jungle for me. I could stay here all the day, just talk with the people, and I ending up at working at GameStop for the Christmas period. And I was like, this is my dream job. I want to work with games, just talk about it and make things about it. And I love that people come up to the desk and I was like, is this game good? And we could look at the cover and talk about it. Sometimes talk about games is better when you have it in front of you. You can look at it and you can just play it. Maybe it doesn't make any sense of you, but for me, all the magic happens because I have it in my hands. And when I grow up, even more in the 20s and the early 30s, I was like, I have to collect my old memories back. I have to get all the games I had for my Super Nintendo Entertainment System. My Super Nintendo back in the days. I remember I was at Blockbuster on Playtime and ran this game with Buster and the Magic Sword, and I have Plug here, and I was searching for all the games and revisiting my childhood again, and the feeling for search and hunt down the physical copies of the games is one of the best things I have in the gaming collection, and the reason why I called me a gamer. I love to watch my Switch collection, and I love to collecting for the Nintendo Switch. And why do I do that? There is something about collecting games with a physical cartridge and not a CD. And when we got to the GameCube and with the PlayStation and Xbox, it was always CD, and there was something about it that didn't click with me. I bought the games, I still wanted them physical, but there's something about getting a game as a cartridge. Put it down, have it in a box, and when I saw that we got back to the cartridge for the Nintendo Switch, I was like, I have to collect for the Nintendo Switch. And I was selling all my games back in the in 2015. I sold all my games, all my Nintendo 64 games, all my Super NES games, all my NES games, all my GameCube games, all my Wii games, all my Wii U games, and I don't know why I did it, but I was a crazy man. But then the Nintendo Switch came, and I was like, I have to collect for the Nintendo Switch. And I don't know how long time we will have to get physical games anymore. I probably think the next generation of Nintendo Switch will be physicals too, and maybe the next one, but after that, I'm afraid that maybe they don't want to make a cartridge slot and all will be digitally or cloud. That's my nightmare. Every night, people, and I promise this is all true, every night I come into my gaming room like this, brushing my teeth and taking this away. And why? Sorry about that. And while I'm brushing my teeth, I just look at my collection and feel a joy. I feel my childhood. I think about raising my kid and play these games with me to try to get the magic one more time with my child. And I almost tearing up just to talk about it. Gris, one of the best games of all time. I don't know if you can see it, but up here, I don't think you can see it, but up here I have so many Gris versions, and I love just to look at it and think about the memories I had with the game, and it takes me back. And sometimes when I have a digital game, if you can't get it physical, I forget I had the game, and that's so sad. And now, for example, Tunic is coming for the Nintendo Switch physical next Friday, but I have it digitally, and I was like, oh, I forgot I have a Tunic. I hadn't played it so much, but now the physical game come, and I was like, I have to try to play it again. And now I remember the game from the Tunic, the Fangamer released Tunic from physically, and I can't wait to get it physically, because it just make me think about the game and have it in my collection physical and look at it. And someday, if something happened, even though if you can't play the games on the machines or anything, and I know people hate to talk about, someday maybe they can just shut down the digital version, and if your machine you have the games on crash and you can't have a backup, and if nightmare talk, if all these things happen and if I can't play these games anymore because all my machines break and I still have the cartridges, I can still look at it, I can still feel it. I don't have to play the games always to feel the magic, because I can look at it. I can see 6 years old Daniel when I look at this game. I can... Donkey Kong Country 2 is one of the best games of all time I have ever played. I have the Japanese versions. I look at these, and Donkey Kong Country 2 was the first game I have ever completed as a child. Those kinds of memories is falling back at me, and it makes me so happy. And I love to collect on games, and I love the enjoyment to hunt down games. I had made 4 videos where I was trying to find good deals for collectors and rare games. So I was making eBay game hunting, where I was searching for games, and I ending up one day buying the collector edition of Cuphead, the big one where you have the doll and things like. It's still in the package. I haven't even taken it out of the box. It around with the safety box around it. And the hunt was so funny. I had the people in the chat that was like, do it, and we were searching, maybe we can find a better deals and things like that. And one of the best gaming experience I had was a game I didn't know about for a year ago. This game, Jump King. Many of you have probably seen the Let's Play I did about this game, and I was playing through all 3 towers and I defeated it, and it was the most hardcore game I ever played, and it's such a good game. And one of my friends, Mark, he was telling me, hey, Mark is making a podcast with 2 others, and they were talking about Jump King, and I got the challenge to try to complete this game, and I've never heard about it, and I love good platformers. And I was looking up, can you get it physically? And I was like, yeah, you can get it over PlayAsia. And I was writing to Mark, and I was like, see what I have bought, the physical version. And he was like, oh my god, you could get a physical version of Jump King. And he ended up buying 2, and we were like 2 small kids that was jumping around. Yeah, we got the physical version of Jump King. And the whole journey with Jump King was so magical, because it was not just because I ended up completing all 3 towers, but it was the journey with the people in the chat, that I had the physical version all from the beginning. The hunting down with the physical version, there my journey began. It's not when I play the game, it's the whole, I get goosebumps just to talk about it. The journey with a magical game starts when the first time you see it. How you pick it up, how you have your money to it. Maybe you don't have, and you have to save up the money. Maybe that could be the journey too with the game. You have to spare some money. You have to work. You have to take more works to get enough money to buy it. And maybe all the extra work you had reminds me of the game, the struggles you had to get the game, because it's expensive. And when you got it, it's arriving in the mailbox, and you look at the cover. It's just such a badass cover. The sunset, the man there jumping. When I look at this, I look at the 65 hours I tried to complete this game. I remember the talks I had with the people. I remember how I got it, and every night before I go to sleep, I look at it when I'm brushing my teeth. And if I someday can do that with my new games, why should I play them? Because 80% sounds maybe a lot for you guys, but I really mean it. 80% of the enjoyment I have with playing games and talk about it is collecting for them. To hunt down the games, to look at them, to see how the prices rise or fall, and when you have to hit the right moment to get a game and get a rare one. If you have like inscription, what number do you get on the back? There are only 3,000, and I have number 1,324, and that's the excitement. What number do I get? And when I'm getting old and I can look back at my collection, I will remember this moment. I will remember this moment. I will remember Mark. When I look at this game, I will remember the conversation I had. I will remember my childhood when I'm looking at this cover. I will look at Chrono Trigger that I had to work so much to get because it's stupid expensive. And now I have it in my collection. I remember Donkey Kong Country 2 because it was the first time I completed the game. It's magical. It's magical. And I love it. And that's why physical games means a lot to me. And when it ends someday, maybe I will just stop and appreciate all the games I had. I will not stop playing my games. I will play all these games, but maybe I will not be interested in the future's games. I don't know, maybe I'm talking bullshit right now, but the feeling I have right now, 80% of the enjoyment I get is by collecting them, playing them. They're almost every games you see here I haven't played yet. But I love to hunt down more games. There are 2 games on the way already, and I had such a great feeling when they are saying the game is arriving soon. And it's weird because many of you play games to play them, and I do that too. But I must say, one of the best and greatest feelings I had is to collect them, to look at them, to touch them, to smell them, and to remember back of the enjoyment I had when I was playing these games. And I still play them, but it isn't the same without collecting them. Thank you so much for watching the whole video and talking about collecting games. I think it's time that I will show you my game collection and talk about every games. I had the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom review very soon ready for you, but I still had a big video too, where I will talk about all my games in details, where we're looking down on the games and I'll talk and have a play them, what do I think about them. But yeah, you can look forward to that video. That will be a beefy one without editing anything. I will just talk and chill with jazz music in the background probably. But I hope you was enjoying this video. It was a spontaneous video. I was just wanting to talk about these games. My friend last night made me think about it. So yeah, no manners at this video. It's just free talk. So sorry if you didn't understand everything and I was jumping all around the place like Jump King. But yeah, let me know what you think about physical and digital gaming down in the comment section, and give it a like if you like this kind of videos. Then I know, okay, you guys can like this kind of video where just talking and chilling, and give the thumbs down if it's more like other kind of videos. And if you don't like me, give the thumbs down. And if you haven't already, consider subscribe to the channel. That will mean a lot. Thank you so much everyone for watching the video. This was Daniel from the P-Wing. See you very soon. Bye.